Shabbat Shalom. So as always, we're going to go to Colossians 3 and 17. Giving all praise and glory to the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, forever and ever and ever. For he's worthy to be praised. Colossians 3 and 17. And whatsoever ye do, in word or deed, do all by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father, by Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. So everything that we say and do is going to be in the name of the Lord and Savior. We give thanks to the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob for everything, for he's worthy to be praised for everything. Hallelujah, for his holy name. So we're going to go to Genesis, the 32nd chapter today. And we're going to start at verse 3. Genesis 32. I'm going to start at verse 3. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir. This is the land that Esau was given. The land of Seir, which is the country of Edom. See? And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall ye speak unto my power Esau. Thy servant Jacob said thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. So remember we went over last week how Jacob had went to his uncle's and he sojourned there 20 years. So he's letting his brother Esau know that he had been with Laban. And he commanded him, saying, Thus shall he speak unto my power Esau. Thy servant Jacob says thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks, and men servants, and women servants. And I have sent to tell my power that I may find grace in thy sight. Grace is getting something you don't deserve. So he sent them to find grace in Esau's sight. Very important, because Esau made a vow to kill Jacob. When you read Genesis 27 and 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father Isaac blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, he said in his mind, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So he promised to kill Jacob. That's why Jacob is, asking for grace in Esau's sight. Once he had been with Laban 20 years, he said by now, hopefully he's, over it. For the blessing that he was blessed with everlasting life. So now, going back to Genesis 32 and 6. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him. So Esau's coming to meet Jacob with 400 men. Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. And he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks, and herds, and the camels, into 2 bands or 2 armies, 2 different squadrons. And said, if Esau come to the one company and smite it, which means if Esau come to the one band of people and kill them, then the other company which is left shall escape. So if he kill one, he's got to fight the one, then the other band will escape as they're fighting. And Jacob said, O Most High of my father Abraham, and power of my father Isaac, the Most High, which said unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. Now he's going to the Most High, saying to the Most High what he had said to him, that he would deal well with Jacob. Knowing that Esau had made that vow to kill him once they buried their father Isaac. And he's coming with 400 men. And I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast shown unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, And now I am become two bands. Now I have to divide my family into two separate quadrants or armies and so forth. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me, and the mother with the children. See? He said, deliver him from Esau, lest Esau come and smite him with the mother and the children. And thou saidst, I will surely do to thee good. And thou said, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. So what is he doing here? He's relaying to the Most High what he told him. See, certain things that if you know what he has said, you can pray and ask for the things that are written. Look at Genesis 28. And we're going to start at verse 12. We're going to concentrate on verse 13. It says, and he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of the Most High ascending and descending on it. So he's seeing this ladder. And you see angels going up the ladder and coming down the ladder. This is very key right here, verse 13. And behold, the Most High stood above it and said, I am the Most High power of Abraham, thy father, and the power of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth. That's what the Most High said. And thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee, and in thy seed, shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest. So this is what the Most High, this is what the Most High told our forefather Jacob. And will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. So that's why Jacob is reminding the Most High in prayer, as Esau was coming with 400 men, when Esau vowed to kill him the last time he heard of his brother, when our foremother Rebecca told him to go to her brother to escape from Esau, wanting to kill him because of the blessing, which he sold because he come out of the field a little hungry. So we went through all of that. So now here it is. Esau's coming with 400 men, and Jacob reminded the Most High of what he had said. Well, we just read what the Most High said. Verse 12 of Genesis 32nd chapter. And thou said, I will surely do thee good, as we just read, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea. That's we, the 12 tribes of Israel, which cannot be numbered nor for multitude. Verse 13, and he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams. This is what he's going to give Esau. 30 milch camels with their coats, 40 kine and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses and 10 fowls. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servants, pass over before me, and put a space between drove and drove, meaning, between the different ones that he was giving Esau. And he commanded the foremost, saying, when Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, whose art thou? Whose are these? And whither goest thou? And where you going? And whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, they be thy servant Jacob's. They be Esau's servant Jacob. his brother. It is a present sent unto my power Esau. And behold, also he is behind us. They don't know that Jacob is coming, but he's behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the droves, saying, on this matter shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. He's giving them commandment of what they should say when they find Esau, Jacob's brother. And say ye moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face, peradventure, perhaps he will accept of me. He said, once he receive all these presents that I'm giving him, then I'll come after he's received the present, and perhaps he'll receive me and do him no harm. Verse 21, so went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. So he left alone, and now he's wrestling, it says, with a man with him until the breaking of the day. So he wrestled with a man all night. He's by himself. He looking at Esau gonna kill him. Now he gotta wrestle with a man all night. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, when he saw that he couldn't whoop him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. So he pulled the hollow of his thigh out of place. As Jacob was wrestling with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. So he said, I'm not going to let you go unless you bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with the Most High and with men, and hast prevailed. So his name will be Israel, which means he is a prince of the power. This one, his name was changed from Jacob to Israel. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? Why you want to know my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen Mashiach Yahushai face to face, because it's not the Most High. And my life is preserved. Because we have to identify the fact of what was said in John 1 and 18. St. John 1 and 18. No man hath seen the Most High at any time. Once again, no man hath seen the Most High at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. You see? So when you look at Jacob wrestling with a man, when you look at Hebrews, the 13th chapter, go to Hebrews, the 13th chapter, and verse 2. It says, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, as Jacob just did, wrestling with, as it said, a man. For thereby some have entertained angels unawares. So the angels could be a stranger, as this man was a stranger, but some have entertained angels not even knowing that you're entertaining angels that look like a man. You see? That's what it says. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unaware. Not even realizing that you're entertaining angels. So, saying that, that's why when you look at what it's saying in Deuteronomy 32 and, Genesis 32 and 30, and Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen, it says God here, face to face, and my life is preserved. You see? But it's not talking about the Most High, because no man ever seen the Most High. Hamashiach Yahushua is declaring him. And here, Hamashiach Yahushua is an angel. And as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is your thighs, which is upon the hollow of the thigh, unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinew that shrank. Genesis 33 and 1. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah, and unto Rachel, and unto the 2 handmaids. That was his 4 women that he had, who the 12 tribes come from, the lineage of Jacob, whose name is just now changed to Israel. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. See that? Put the handmaids, children, the handmaids and their children first, and he put Leah and her children next. Leah had the most children, and he put Rachel and Joseph hindermost. Last, so he had 3 different quadrants. He put, the handmaids' children first, handmaids and their children first, then Leah and her children, then Rachel and Joseph last. That's showing favoritism, wouldn't you say? Put the handmaids and their children first, then Leah and her children next. But he loved Rachel. Put Rachel and Joseph last. The Most High have no respect for persons. The Most High is not partial like that. But this is what he done. And he passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. So he bowed down to the ground 7 times till he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Because they hadn't seen each other 20 years. And when he last seen them, that was when they buried our forefather Isaac. And he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, Who are those with thee? And he said, The children which the Most High have graciously given thy servant. Then the handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves before Esau. And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, What meanest thou by all this drove which I met? And he said, These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord, my power. He said, Why did you send all this livestock and so forth? What does that mean? What is that for? And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. He said, I have enough. This is like money, during this time. He said, I have enough. He said, I have enough. I don't need this. Keep that thou hast unto thyself. Keep it for yourself. He said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast for thyself. And Jacob said, Nay, no, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, if I found grace in your sight, brother, then receive my present at my hand. For therefore I have seen thy face, as though I had seen the face of the Most High, or Mashiach Yahushua, and thou was pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that I brought to thee, because the Most High have dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. And he said, Let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee. And he said unto him, My power knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks are, and herds with young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. Let my power, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure, until I come unto my power unto Seir. And Esau said, Let me now leave with thee some of the folk that are with me. And he said, What needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my power. So Esau returned that day on his way unto Seir. So Esau went back home to Seir, mountain Seir, mind you. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padanaram, and pitched his tent before the city. And he brought a parcel of a field, where he had spread his tent, in the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar, and called it Elohi Israel. So you see, they had money, some type of money at this time. It said 100 pieces of money. That's what he bought the parcel of a field for. So Genesis 34 chapter. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah was the only one that had a daughter by Jacob. Her name was Dinah. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. So she went out to check out the daughters of the land, the women of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. See? This is another nation. He seen her, he lay with her, and you see what it says, and defiled her. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. He lay with her, defiled her. And he fell in love with her. He started trying to put his mac on after he laid with her. Spoke kindly to her. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field. So all his sons out there with the cattle in the field. And Jacob held his peace until they were come. He didn't say anything to them till they came from the field with the cattle. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. So Hamor is going to Jacob to talk with him. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth. They got angry, because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. See? You understand? Most High told us in Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, just because you haven't heard it yet, the law says this, Deuteronomy 7:3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. This is why we're not supposed to be interracially marrying other nations. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods or other idols. So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. See? That's wrong. Also, we look at in the Apocrypha. There's many places we can go to. To show you that it's wrong according to the laws of the Most High, whether you like it or not. A lot of you want to follow your own way, and your own way is going to lead you straight to hell, death. Look at 1 Ezra 9:7. So Ezra arose up and said unto them, Ye have transgressed the law in marrying strange wives, thereby to increase the sins of Israel. And now by confessing, give glory unto the Most High power of our fathers, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and do his will. Do his will. What's the will of the Most High? And separate yourselves from the heathen of the land and from the strange women. Now what did they do? Verse 36. And these had taken strange wives, and they put them away with their children. See? So I mean, that's a whole breakdown that we could go into, like Nehemiah 13 tells you about it. I mean, it talks about it. So going back to Genesis 34. Now this heathen wants to get with our daughter, our sister, who's an Israelite. Asking you to defile. You see what first thing it says? He defiled her by laying with her. As you see what the law says. Now just because you don't see the law here, they were under the law, they knew the law. We just have to be reminded of it once we went into captivity under the Egyptians. Just like we got to be reminded of the law now as we're in the captivity of the Edomites. And more so once we get out of here. How about 1,000 years of it? Yeah. To make sure we're right. And it's the last time you're going to be able to get it right. After that, lights out. So going back to Genesis 34 and verse 7. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, made them sad. And they were very wroth. They got angry because he had wrought folly in Israel in lying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor, communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give him to wife. We just read the law, so that they could not get married. It already said In verse 2, and when Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, this African, this so-called African, this Hamite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. Now here's his father trying to talk Jacob in to allowing his son to marry his daughter, our sister Dinah. Verse 9, and make ye marriages with us, and give your daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you, and ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and trade ye therein, and get you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me. But give me the damsel to wife. Give me Dinah to wife. Whatever you want, I'll pay you for it. I'll give it. Whatever it is that you desire. Just give me Dinah, your sister. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully. What did they do? They lied to him and said, because he had defiled Dinah, his sister. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor, his father, deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah, their sister. And they said unto them, they said it deceitfully because Shechem had defiled Dinah, our sister. And they said unto them, we cannot do this thing to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. That's a disgrace for our women to be with a man that's uncircumcised. Because we're supposed to circumcise the boys on the 8th day. That's a covenant the Most High made with the children of Israel. So it's a reproach, he said, for us as the Israelites to give our daughters to a man that's uncircumcised. This is what he's saying. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be. If you're going to be like we are, as the Israelite men, that every male of you be circumcised. Every male be circumcised, because this is a covenant the Most High made with us. That's why the covenant with the heathen, these other nations, was not with them. That's why they didn't circumcise their children. The heathen didn't do it. The other nations didn't do it. But this is a covenant the Most High made with Israel, that we would circumcise the boys on the 8th day after birth. And this is what they're saying, telling them, you got to circumcise yourself. All the males got to circumcise themselves. You're going to be like us. Right? Verse 16. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. Right? What are these Hivites? So-called Africans. From the seed of Ham. We're from the seed of Shem. Verse 17. But if ye will not hearken unto us, you don't want to listen to us? To be circumcised? To circumcise your scrotum? Then will we take our daughter and we will be gone. We're going to take our daughter, we're going to be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. So all we got to do is circumcise ourselves, and she going to be able to be married to Shechem, and we're going to be one people. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. He was glad to do it. He wanted Dinah that bad. Verse 20. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein. For the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if, there's a condition, every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised. So you tell them, all the men, look, and that's where the men met at the gates. So it said the condition is that every male have to be circumcised, as we as the children of Israel, men are circumcised. Verse 23, shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. So we're going to have the same thing that they have. But let us consent with them and circumcise ourselves, that they're going to dwell with us. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son, hearken all that went out of the gate of his city. And every male was circumcised, as all that went out of the gate of his city. So all the males left from that gate, and that's where the leaders met, to give instructions, and they all got circumcised. These Hivites, these so-called Africans, these Hamites. Verse 25. And it came to pass on the third day, once they circumcised themselves, on the third day, when they were sore as ever, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, these today will be so-called Dominicans and Haitians, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males, killed them all. Mind you, they're sword. They killed all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went out. Got their sister and left. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their city. They took their sheep and their oxen and their asses, and that which was in the city and that which was in the field. These are the sons of Jacob. Jacob's not with them. Our forefather Israel, remember his name is changed to Israel. Who is Jacob? The sons, who we are. But Simeon and Levi, two of them, went through and killed all the males. They were sore the third day. Wait till that third day, they killed them all. Verse 29, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, children, and their wives took they captives, and spoiled even all that was in the house. Took everything. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house and my family. Let them know the Perizzites and the Hivites, two more so-called African nations, will come against them and kill them all. And they said, should he deal with our sister as with an harlot? This is how serious we follow the laws of the Most High. They said, should he deal with our sister as a hoe, as a prostitute? Genesis 35 and 1. And the Most High, by Shema Mashak Yahushai, said unto Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto the Most High, that appeared unto thee, when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. So you make an altar unto the Most High. Because see, the Most High appears, is not the Most High, because remember the Most High in John 4:24 says the Most High is a spirit, and they that worship must worship him how? In spirit and in truth. So he sent his angels to represent him, or spirits to represent him, because he's too vast. He said the heaven of heavens can't contain him, so you can't build him no place that he can dwell in. He don't dwell in temples made with hands. He the one that built him himself. You can do nothing without him. And that's what he's telling you. So he's doing this thing everywhere. Everything he has his hands in. So, but he have his messengers. I can tell you in Psalms 104 and 4. Psalms 104 and 4. Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. You see? So ministers are doing what? They're bringing forth the word of the Most High. But they're spirits, which are angels, either or, that are bringing the word of the Most High. And that fire, when you read Jeremiah 23:29, it says, is not my word like as fire, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? So his word is like fire. That's the flaming fire is, you know, the word of the Most High. Because the Most High is a consuming fire. You see what I'm saying? So it's all hip talk, but it's the Most High. It's who he is. Hebrews 12 and 29. For our power is a consuming fire. See? Consuming fire. That's why it tells you in Hebrews 4 and 12. The word of the Most High is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart, or the mind. That's the word of the Most High. So this is what's being brought to us through the Spirit of the Most High, which is the Holy Spirit, the true Spirit of the Most High, or true angel of the Most High, that he sends to deal with us from the beginning to the end. That's why you look at, when you go from the beginning, I mean, Genesis 1 and 1. In the beginning, Elohim, the Most High Yahushua created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Right? The earth was not shaped, any kind of form, it was void. Darkness was upon the face of the deep. You see? And what happened? And the Spirit of the Most High moved upon the face of the waters. See? So we have the Spirit of the Most High moving upon the waters to create everything, which comes back to a Mashiach Yahushua creating everything, as it says in Ephesians 3 and 9. You see, so he created everything by a Mashiach Yahushua, but he is what? A spirit, an angel, right here. So, and that's how the Most High is communicating with us, and have always communicated with us. Because why is it going to take 1,000 years for Mashiach to show us of the Father if you can just go be in front of the Most High in these fleshly bodies? No, flesh and blood cannot approach before the Most High. That's why spiritually we got to continue to put on the whole armor of the Most High, His Spirit, to be able to deal with the things that we got to deal with in our lifetime now. To have the Spirit of the Most High, to operate with Him, being with us in these last days. Genesis 35:1 again. And the Most High said unto Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto the Most High, while Mashiach Yahushua that appeared unto thee, when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Then Jacob said unto his household, and to all that were with him, Put away the strange gods, strange idols that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. So he told them, put away them strange gods or idols that was among them, and change their garments. And let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto the Most High, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods or idols which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears. So we had earrings that were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. And they journeyed, and the terror of the Most High was upon the cities that were round about them. And they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. The Most High terrorized these nations, so they ain't pursue after the sons of Jacob. The Most High terrorized them, because he's the king of terrors. You understand? So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan. Like southern, like the south part of Africa, it says, which is the land of Canaan, which is Israel, Slakia. That is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar and called the place El Bethel, because there Most High Mashiach appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak, and the name of it was called Alon Bashuth. So Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and they buried her there. And the Most High Mashiach appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padanaram, and blessed him. And the Most High said unto him through the Spirit, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. Say, Israel gonna be your name. And he called his name Israel, Yashra. And the Most High said unto him, I am the power almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. He said a nation and a company of nations, that's where we get the 12 tribes of Israel. Because these men created nations. That's why I say a nation that became one nation, but you have 12 different nations that become or became one nation. That's what he's telling them. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. See? That's why when you look at uh, the 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel. And there's a lot of the secular churches try and say that, put that out, that verse 9 deals with all the other nations. Well, let's look at it. So from Revelation 7, I'm not going to go over it, from Revelation 7:4, you can go over it yourself. It's 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel. His name, which make up the 144,000. Now when you jump to verse 9, it says, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, right? And cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our power is very important. Salvation to our power, which sitteth upon the throne, which is the Most High, and unto the Lamb, who was a Mashiach Yahushua, right? So it says that after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude. That's why I pronounce it a few times so you can hear a great multitude, right? So now when we look at that great multitude, when you look at 2nd Ezra in the Apocrypha, the 3rd chapter, in the 16th verse, concerning that great multitude, it says, and unto him thou gavest Isaac, gave Abraham Isaac, and unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau, who we just read about. Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him. The Most High chose Jacob, whose name we just reading about is changed to Israel. The Most High chose him to thee for himself. And put Esau to the side. And so Jacob became a great multitude. And so Jacob became a great multitude. The same great multitude that we're reading about in Revelations 7 and 9. That's the Israelites that are scattered among all these nations, speaking different languages and so forth. That's when you go to Acts the 2nd chapter, the 9th verse, you see, you go to verse 5, it says Jews came to the holy convocation